all the charms of you. Venus, make her fair, a lovely girl with sunlight in her hair, and take the brightest stars up in the skies and place them in her eyes for me. Venus, goddess of love that you are, surely the things I ask can't be too great a task. Venus, if you do, I promise that I always will be true. I'll give her all the love I have to give, as long as we both shall live. Venus, goddess of love that you are, surely the things I ask can't be too great a task. Venus, if you do, I promise that I always will be true. I'll give her all the love I have to give, as long as we both shall live. Venus, make my wish come true.
Actually, in isolation, time goes slowly day to day, but memories merge together, make it hard to think in ways that others can understand. I kind of tend to forget how to speak to people. I've just been thinking so much about our conversation the last year.
Please don't expect that we can just return back to the thoughts and words of last year and find any meaning today. We've changed and it's all different. So much has changed for all of us.
But to me, they have stayed relevant. Sitting in the same tree in the same place, I'm not really so sure how they can be normal to who we are today. Like I, for example, have stayed the same. Only thought more about who I am.
To be honest, last year all feels insignificant and very distant.
See, that's the subtle thing about the act of recognizing some special suspended span of time as being a moment. It leads to its own collapse. I saw as we were leaving it wouldn't last. It was all falling apart before we even left. Disconnected feeling is not only because of our time apart, but the result of the illusion, the result of an end.
There is no conclusion, right? This is very much alive. The moment in many ways feels defined. It defined who I am. It worked as a bright guiding light of hope, a north star, if you will, to think and feel. An inkling of hope for leaving my misery and begin living. I spent this whole past year working in isolation, waiting, needing, dreaming to be back to this. I mean, that bliss last time was present.
I'm still not following. What even is this blissful moment? I think it never existed.
Yeah, exactly. In actuality, what we refer to as a moment, as something that's suspended in time, as a lapse in activity, and a question of misunderstanding. The word and the concept of a moment didn't become universal until the invention of the photograph in the 19th century. Once we create objective reality, we had to embrace the abstract and entrust our own ambiguous delusion as an attempt for some faint notion of inner truth. as we verbalize a moment and put it into images and the word efficiently, it gets to be really ridiculous. Do you see love or passion in this? Do you see meaning, truth, understanding? There's no structure, there's no art, no characters, it's just nonsense.
I see what you're doing with that. You're able to recognize the inherent illusion of mind, our existence. What has that given you, though? Life, death, love, all are delusions by your critique. But is that a way to live? This is related to the idea we discussed last year, by the way, right? So, what you were talking about, the idea of operating life with some sort of meta reasoning. Love it, right? When we want to act on our values, but we have to balance between researching the best way to act and learning actually acting.
Okay, last year at 3, you were arguing that living by this is the only way to live meaningfully, and I've come to see that as true. That doesn't mean we can submit to such an ideology. We must be thorough. I have spent the whole year working towards finding a truly meaningful way of living, and I will continue searching because that is the most efficient thing to do.
I told you this? I don't understand. I really would like to, at a sort of loss of words. Why do we need to classify things as delusions and lies? Why would we want to? I don't really follow the idea both of you are following, wasting your time optimizing towards an efficient living. What does it mean to live efficiently? I mean, yes, I was thrown back. I wasn't anticipating a conversation explaining about how we feel deep down inside. Maybe have some understanding of what he meant now. I don't know, really understand. I don't really understand how it can be permanent. Even speaking about it maybe has alleviated it. I mean, there's definitely
Thank you.
been.
Thank you.
You're
Thank you.
good. Thank you.
Thank you. No. Thank you very
These are
much.
beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
And resume is coming.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I mean, staring at the loading screen always makes it go longer. Speaking about the state is materializing it into permanent existence. I think this is clear.
I don't even really know how.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I can take this over here. Yeah. Thank you. No cerveza. Thank you. Great. It's great. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. It's delicious.
Yeah, I don't even know how true what I said was, but I think this goes back to the isolation comment I said earlier.
Thank you. Thank you. I can move this right here. Yeah. Thank you. No, thank you. It's delicious. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
You're saying?
Where was I? Earlier I talked about the effects of isolation and time, memory, etc. But what isolation really does is make you want to speak to people. So people overshare or create internal spectacles. Maybe you lose your mind obsessing about some topic you know nothing about even. Then you try and share your layered, nuanced thoughts to people who don't really even think to acknowledge your unwritten debates and conflicts. My friend 2 is grabbing a mask.
Okay. They're coming over. Welcome. After a year apart, returning back together, speaking, sharing, connecting for the first time in 23 minutes, 36 seconds ago, It was remarkable. The conversation will be spoken of for ages to come. Thank you all. I mean, each and every one of us made this happen. Also, we can't forget to thank everyone that was a part of their lives before the return, in the year they spent separated, living, and reflecting. When you sat down, one, the very first thing you said, now approximately 24 minutes ago, was that you're living in this, in your words, anticipatory loading screen state. Expand on that idea.
Well, I was caught up in the moment, and after all that time, I was very excited to jump into talking again. So I sometimes forget if I'm saying things out loud or in my head. A friend told me that the most travel websites exaggerate the loading time on their searches. It's not actually doing a deeper search, but users trust that they find better results if there's more time loading. So I think that the same is with my belief system, sort of. I'm valuing this time period of preparing, loading, thinking, but I know it is all artificial. I know that it will lead to no truer and no better result, but I still put my trust in the loading. It's very odd and silly, I know.
Yes, silly indeed. So 3, you immediately responded confused. Has anything cleared up? Has your time since created anything of that thought?
You're saying that the word "a lot" to live? You seem to really have developed theories on what it means to live. The only problem is searching for a sentimental definition. To live is exactly against real life. Your diverging options show your identical praise to its mechanized optimization of living. Who really gave you this idea? How can you have a silly conversation about definitions, efficiencies, and be so interested in the meaningful? Life is something without words or an algorithmic methodology.
What? You told us about this way of dealing with values and actions last year. Do you really not remember the memory of last year?
I don't believe you. Maybe I read something somewhere before we spoke, but it's not a way of living. I don't conceptualize compatibly to work with things in the framework of ways of living. I don't see how that could possibly be rationalized.
This meta-reasoning is almost all I've done in the past year. Seeing you speak earlier brought me so much hope and for understanding and finding an optimal path. But now I'm frightened. Will I ever be questioning values and idols?
Look, I spent the whole year anxiously waiting to learn how to juggle values, goals, etc., things to pursue, ways to find meaning, ways to live. What should I do now? I'm just lost.
I'm sorry. You must have misinterpreted me. Or I must have misspoken? Conversations like this are things that just sort of repulse me. They're crude and the only outcomes are misconceptions.
But aren't misconceptions inherent in our existence? We adopt? I think they must have to be.
Yeah, how could the idea of contradictions that we live by be attached to our meta-reasoning, life-optimizing task? I don't know how it could work to minimize contradictions. Shouldn't total elimination be the goal?
Can we possibly leave now? I'm tired of this.
Yeah, I think we probably should.
I agree.
Here, let me help you down. Let's go.
Please, thank you.
Fascinating. So you're claiming the role of obsessive thoughts and isolation only functions as a means of connection and escape? Wow. What do you make of this, 3?
I think when we are searching for loading a true way, we can go about it in different ways. 1, make home of the screen. Numb yourself. Have time to pass and forget it is happening, or obsess and create an elaborate story about a mystical or scientific nature of understanding this loading screen. Create theory and principles for understanding this loading screen, or stop waiting and give it all up. all of these may be flawed, but that comes down to the illusion that ways of living can be worse or better. We all know that it's not true.
Sorry to cut you off. Ding, 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 ding. It's the 28-minute rapid question fire round. You are on the clock. For each question, answer yes or no. Use the buzzer below to choose the answer. The first person excuse me. This is the rapid fire question. Okay, we are on the clock. 2. Is there a clear, true path?
No.
1. Does internal thought exist by itself?
No.
3. Is all internal thought a product to increase socialization?
Yeah?
2. Can we choose ignorance?
Yes.
1. Is there such a thing as a true self?
Definitely not.
3. Is it bad to look at mirrors?
Definitely.
2. Is it good to look at old photos of yourself?
No, it's not good.
1. Is it good to imagine other ways of living exist?
Yeah, definitely.
3. After last year's conversation, did you give up?
Yes. Okay, I gave up. But it's not what you think. When I said give up earlier, you heard it as a bad thing. But the idea is still based on the idea of good and bad things. We need to look beyond that. I left behind questioning and adding up the definitions of the world. I left behind these pointless games with words and possibilities. I gave up and committed to a way. I am as happy and as fulfilled as I ever was. I have never felt more clear-minded or connected with the world. There is no need to question these conventions day to day. I mean, what does it do? What else can it do? What else can I do? I mean, what other option did I have? Last year, I was at the point you are at this year. How do you think I felt after setting you out on a path into this misery? It all starts with curiosity, all of it. That is the biggest evil, but there is escaping it. I mean, here I am after a year pretending, back in my ways.
Wow, what a reveal. This changes the whole narrative here. Thank you for tuning in. This has been the rapid fire question round ending. I'm signing off. We are here at Versailles Cubano Cuisine in Venice Boulevard, Los Angeles, California. It's been 31 minutes since the conversation began. And now we are going to enjoy the festive meal. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thanks.
promise that I always will be true. I'll give her all the love I have to give,